Hi, this is Paola Harris coming back to you to communicate with you. These are very, very tense times. I have decided to communicate more with the outside world. I'm generally a writer and write books and express myself like that because what happens is that that is the way I can archive history. And so many of our beautiful UFO books and paranormal books and so forth are archiving areas of history, areas of time uh, in our lives. They mark our world, they mark the way we think, they mark our philosophy, they mark the thinking of the human species. So what I'd like to do with this segment is give you some guidance as to what we can do. I mean, apart from cooking good Italian food and listening to oldies but goodies, which I've listened to all the 70s and 80s. I also am reading, and I thought that I could kind of help with a list of books that you might find extremely interesting. I have read all these books, so I tend to do that. Reading for me not only sends me to another world, it's also very relaxing. It's also very informative, and since I'm a teacher, a master's in education, I've always read, and this is the time where you can escape for a little while by reading. So I would like to suggest these books for you, and I will probably write them underneath the Facebook page that I will air this on, and tell you that I'm with you, and we can join together and make this a supportable experience. In other words, we can get through it. It isn't necessarily positive with the news we hear, but we can program our day where we do at least two things we really like to do, at least two things that we could do within our homes. So these are the lists of books. I'm going to give you one list and I'll give you another longer list. But right now I suggest that people read American Cosmic by Diana Pasulka. It was so interesting because the world is replacing who our saviors are, looking at the metaphor with ETs. And Diana, who is a professor of religious studies, has done a really good job with her journey into looking at this. So everybody should read American Cosmic. It should be in your libraries. And then A Glimpse into Infinity is Desta, Barnabe's book, and she's a good friend of mine. And A Glimpse into Infinity puts you into a consciousness mode because she can actually receive information. Some people call it channeling, but I think she lives an everyday reality like this and has wanted to share it with you. So A Glimpse into Infinity. And when I talk about Desta, I have to talk about Grant. And one of my favorite books for Grant is Tuned In. The idea that musicians have been downloaded, oh my goodness. I always knew the Booty Blues they were my favorites. John Lennon, Imagine, other kinds of musicians that have gotten messages and to disseminate to the outside world through their music. And some of the most popular songs, I think we can feel these messages coming. And they're from inspiration, creativity, yes, but then we have to ask, where does information and creativity come from? And then my favorite book of all, pick it up again. It's really cool, called Illusions by Richard Bach. Illusions, I could like open up any place in the book and there would be a wise saying. Richard Bach, as you know, is a pilot. He's known for Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Illusions is a metaphor for a reluctant Messiah. The Messiah he works at a gas station and he becomes so famous because he's wise that he wants to quit. And that would be an interesting idea in our religions, right? I want, to have our people, our messiahs, our gurus want to quit. And then I think that Hope Restored by Paul Hellyer that just came out, and it's come out in 3 languages, is very, very good memoir. Hope Restored is something that really gave me a positive feeling because Paul Hellyer, the former defense minister of Canada, is a very, really good friend. And he told me when he was writing this, he said, Paula, this is my swan song. This is what I want to leave the world. And I read that book and was so happy because, you know, basically this is a man who's lived in politics, who's very spiritual, and can put it all together for a plan, a future plan for the survival of the human species. For me, also, Amicizia, the Amicizia case with Stefano Breccia, 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 is very interesting because it's the joining of these people from outer space in 1956 in the Pescara area. And what came from their experiment with 10 human, you know, Italians, these Italians were chosen to have interaction, communication with these beings. And these beings were pretty human. I mean, they were vegetarian. They lived in Roccapia, which is a castle near Pescara, Monte Silvano. And the thing is, this really did happen because when Stefano was allowed to talk about it so many years later, we see that there are extraterrestrial civilizations that are like us, that would like to be, you know, our friends. Amicizia means friends. I'm not saying that it's all positive, because there's positive and negative in everything. But amicizia, or friendship case, is something that everybody that studies ufology should know about. Now, Timothy Good also wrote about amicizia in Earth and Alien Endeavor. So, you know, Timothy Good is the best of the best for me. He travels and he covers all these cases in person. So it was Earth and Alien Enterprise. I'm sorry, but that I've given you so many books now, and I'll try to list them for you. That, I mean, that covers at least 3 weeks worth of reading. So good reading, and I'll give you an A if you read them all.